Hello everybody, Pinstripe here. Welcome back to some more IL-2. Tonight flying in the IAR 80. This is a Romanian fighter that had some teething problems at the early parts of the war, but when you look at it, I mean design wise it is certainly unique and quite pretty in the designs that you'll get in some of those skins, but we're coming up against a full beastly formation of PE8s, who are also accompanied by the one IL-2 that I have never actually played or fought against yet. So it's going to be very interesting, and as you'll see as we kind of close the gap on this IL-2, because I figured let's start with him, take him out and then switch to the bombers. It's going to take me a little bit longer than expected to take him down because the IL-2, it just refuses. It has significant amounts of armor, but the major talking point here for the IAR, I should say, is the lack of real firepower. Like, armament was a main issue for this plane throughout its production, really. It had engine problems too, in that it wasn't particularly powerful. The engine had been replaced a few times, which did improve it, and the armament did improve a smidge. But in this instance, we only have the ×2 20mm, which are putting in the work against this IL-2, sticking him where it really hurts, but actually not being enough to take him down for quite some time. As you'll see, I'm doing several passes, just trying to inflict as much damage as I can, try and hit the engine, but still it refuses to go down. So on the third attempt, we're going to get in close once more and see just how terrible my aim is, because we're going to have an extra replay of this, of course, because I want you guys to see how much damage is inflicted on this IL-2 before he eventually, finally goes down. I mean, there's a reason why Russian soldiers referred to the IL-2 as the flying tank. Just the amount of punishment that it can take is quite astounding. And even more funny as well, as this clip goes on, you will eventually notice that the pilot of this IL-2 brings his landing gear down. So he was so unfazed by all the damage coming his way. He's like, you know what? I'm going to land. Screw you. You don't. Romanian fire ain't got nothing on the IL-2 for sure. But of course, Romania at this point in the war, in fact, just during World War II, they were on the side of the Axis powers. So coming up against the likes of Russian planes was very much a kind of commonplace on the Eastern Front. And again, just observe the pure insanity of 1, how close I'm getting, 2, how many shots I'm missing, and 3, eventually as I dive away, just to observe the full extent of the damage on this plane. Look at the wings, look at the holes, and look at the just nonchalance, absolutely don't care, I'm fine with it attitude from the pilot as his landing gear goes down. Just truly insane. I should note, and I'm sorry for those of you that are expecting the realism here, I had unlimited ammo turned on because sometimes it's just fun to dive into IL-2, shoot down an IL-2, and attempt to take on the bombers. I mean, looking at all the damage that I inflicted onto this enemy plane, you can understand where by this point in real life I probably would have just run out of ammunition and would have had to head back to base. So in that regard, the video wouldn't have been as interesting. And I mean, when we're looking at the PE8s of those giant Russian beastly squadron of bombers, I'm going to need the bullets to be able to stand any kind of chance. So at the moment we're going to be catching up to them. They are going to be rotating around, so we do gain up upon their position ASAP. And it's not really somewhere that you want to be caught in between, which going into this, you know, I've been flying in all kinds of planes recently, been taking on all kinds of bombers in planes that are a little bit more powerful. Not to downplay the IAR by any means, but compared to the rest, I mean, I read a lot online of people's opinions of this plane. You know, how did it fare up? What can you compare it to? And a lot of people have said that the Curtiss Hawk, the 36, is comparable with the Hawk being better than this plane. So, I mean, design-wise, you know, it's really nice to me, but other than that, like, performance-wise, it flies okay, I suppose. I didn't really come up against any kind of dogfighting, seeing as I am going after heavy-duty planes. But we get a few hits onto the first bomber, who is trailing now, seeing as he is leaking some gasoline from both engines. Don't forget, these bombers have 4 engines, so to be able to take one of them down is an achievement in itself. But this is where I get caught in the worst position possible when taking on bombers. You'd think that I would have learned by now, but in this occasion we zoom in, of course, to the target that we're going for, and rather than pulling away and coming back again, doing some kind of boom and zoom, I hop over the top of this first bomber and attempt to take on the rest, which when you've got, I think it's 6 individual guns. Yeah, 2 20mm, 2 12.7mm, and 2 7.62mm machine guns with the one set of cannons, like I say, on those 20mm. But we're getting some good hits in. We'll eventually see some black smoke pouring off of this P8, which is good news for me, because, you know, it means that I did something and that bomber is near enough going down with, I think, 1 or 2 of the engines cutting out. But again, we come over the top of that first bomber and then put ourselves just in the worst position. I mean, look how many bullets are flying in my direction. The traces are coming in, the damage is being dealt, and I get a few shots off onto the second bomber, try and climb down, but my speed is reduced drastically and I'm a sitting duck as eventually the engine catches fire. My pilot takes a lot of damage, and unfortunately you could argue that, you know, why don't you bail out, but you can see that he is slowly, very slowly losing consciousness, and unfortunately there is no way to save him because he's already a goner. But of course I notice I still have some speed in my last breath, so I attempt to get some final shots off on the bomber that is in front as my consciousness slowly fades out and my pilot perishes. So falling to the ground in style, in flames, we managed to take down 1 IL-2 and 1 Russian bomber. So 2 out of the 5, which is not particularly amazing, but I guess it's good considering the firepower that we were bringing and the fact that we were all alone. But this is, of course, the replay on the damage that I did to the bomber that did go down. But it's very much a learning experience as well. Of when you're facing bombers, the rookie mistake is to sandwich yourself in between them and slow down. If you're going to sandwich yourself in between them, you need to be zooming in and out of them, keeping that speed, maintaining that energy, and the moment that you lose that, I mean, you can see how slow I'm going in time with the bombers as well, so it's really not great flying on my part, and you'll see me burst into flames in the background as this bomber eventually loses a wing and falls to the ground in pieces, which is what we love to see. We love to see bombers go down. It's always fascinating seeing all the pieces and all the destruction that you can do, but sadly it was not enough for me to keep flying and keep dealing damage. But we're going to come at these bombers again in a future video. I intend to take all 4 of them down with a single plane, but preferably with one that holds a little bit more cutting-edge firepower, I suppose. Either way, the P8s are never to be underestimated, regardless of what firepower or plane you are bringing to take them on, because in a group, in a convoy, in a squadron, they can be devastating. And this is the perfect example, really, as my plane plummets to the ground and we come away with the defeat. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Plenty more IL-2 to come in future, and I'll catch you all later for the next one.